Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron, I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. Now, most of the Western world believes in evolution of some sort. Now, I believe in the word evolution, and I would believe in what some call microevolution. There's an adaptability of species to adapt within their environment around them. What I would disagree with, and this is not in the fossil record, this is really nowhere, because if it was in the fossil record, the whole fossil record would be a series of chains from one life form to another life form, is that there's transmutation of species, that amphibians eventually became dinosaurs, or birds, or something of that. A fish eventually became a mammal. I don't see any evidence for that. I don't think it's genetically possible. I think Mendelian laws of genetics show us that this is an impossibility. And so there's some follies in evolution. You know, first of all, like when you talk about on the big thing, you talk about the singularity or the primeval atom, it's like, where did that come from? Well, we don't have to know, because science goes from here and works backwards. Well, wouldn't it be nice to know, you know? And that's where some are theistic evolutionists go like, well, God did it. Well, God didn't say he did it that way in the Bible. And why would God choose the most inefficient way for creation of death for billions of years and hundreds of millions of years to reach the present form of death, when death didn't enter the world till Adam and Eve sinned? But so, you know, what was the mechanism of explosion? I was reading a thing on the Big Think not long ago. I did a podcast with Ryan French, and it was incredible. His whole array of media is absolutely fantastic. They were saying they're going to have to rethink the Big Bang, because what preceded the singularity, there doesn't seem to be enough mass to equal everything that happens. Because every time we send something up, the web or something, some near-Earth platform, that it keeps, you know, the universe keeps expanding. You got sextillions of stars and all this now. And so, you know, what would be the mechanism for the explosion? If time and space was in the speck, where was the speck? That's a big question. And what was the mechanism of the explosion? Why are there spiral galaxies and galaxies with the arm? If space is frictionless, why isn't everything expanding out at the same rate, in the same place, in the same directions, instead of red shifting, going different directions? Again, galaxies with spiral arms shouldn't exist, and these type things. But I mean, when you get to Earth itself, you know, because it used to, I don't know, I was taught this in school, and then I had astronomy books like growing up that I just devoured, read over and over and over. And their basic theory then is the sun kind of was created, and then it spun off 9 planets. We're not going to get into Pluto, Planet X, and on and so forth, but 9 planets, as it's traditionally been. We now know that's totally not true, because the planets aren't made up of the same stuff the sun is made up. They're still discovering what the sun is. There was some recent development, they think it may be made out of plasma, and redoing heliocentric theory, not centric, but Helios theory, the study of the sun. And so we now know the planets aren't made out of the same stuff the sun is, so this didn't happen. You know, and so had all the planets get aligned to rotate around the sun just right, and all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, you've got a rock here, the third rock from the sun. A lot of people tell me I look like some dude that's on there, and I can't remember his name. But anyhow, and so you have this third rock from the sun. He was a Harvard grad, which I appreciate. But, and so the Miller-Urey experiment, you know, lightning hits ammonia. Well, there's all kinds of problems with this brought out by so many that, you know, there's some oxygen conundrum. It's something to the effect of you can't have oxygen for life to form. And it's really not even life forming. It's like an amino acid forming, which is a precursor to life. When lightning hits it, you know, ammonia molecule or something. But then oxygen is necessary for the survival of this thing, for it to become life. So there's this oxygen conundrum there. And then how did this thing live and become multi-celled? what did it eat on, in the most unhospitable of conditions. And like we're gradually pulling away from the sun, but it's a small gradual, and the sun was bigger at some point, or hotter, if it went through the stages of blue and all of this, that and so if it was extremely inhospitable, how did this one cell become multi-cell? And then you've got the 60-15 cell problem, that there's no living things between 6 and 15 cells. How did it jump that? I mean, tons. And then where did consciousness come from? Where did sentiousness come from? That we have beauty, we have morality, we have building. Where did all this come from? So when I read the Bible, it just makes sense. Male and female, how did they all come into being simultaneously for procreation and all this? So there's a ton of things that, to me, if you look at it, and so a lot of times, like when you talk to scientists, and I don't discount scientists, I mean, we live in a time of incredible knowledge, but a lot of them are like, well, I don't know the answers to that. I'm a specialist in a field, but the paleontologist can tell us. You talk to paleontologists, well, the geologist can tell us. Geologists say, well, I know the nuclear physicist can tell us. And so they all have questions, and it's not this broad view. It's not this panoply, this panoramic view of a unified theory, I guess is what the working term is now. So, yeah, I'm just going to stick with the word. It really fits everything. So God bless. I love you. I suggest you stick with the word too. Let's just love everybody, though. We'll see you. God bless you. Bye-bye.